Welcome back to Renew Your Life. And if you're new here, well, welcome. We're excited to have you join us today as we kind of deep dive into something that's been really resonating with us lately.
Yeah.
Staying active and feeling amazing at any age.
Well, it's a topic that's close to my heart as well.
Absolutely. We've been kind of digging into this Renew Your Life blog post called
Mm-hmm.
Revitalize Your Workout Routine, Fitness Tips for Every Stage of Life.
Right.
And honestly, it's given us such a fresh perspective on how to approach fitness as we
Yeah.
will mature.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just about trying to look a certain way. It's about celebrating what our bodies can do and how they help us enjoy life to the fullest.
Yeah, it's a shift in focus that I think is so important. The blog post really emphasizes that fitness is a lifelong journey.
Yeah.
And that really resonated with me. We often associate fitness with youth.
Right.
But the truth is that staying active becomes even more crucial as we get older.
So true. It's not just about how we look in a swimsuit.
Right?
It's about feeling vibrant and capable in our everyday lives.
Absolutely.
And, you know, the blog post dives into some really specific benefits of staying active as we mature. Talks about maintaining strength, flexibility, balance, and coordination.
Yeah.
All things that I think we can all relate to wanting to keep as we age.
Absolutely. And the post doesn't just mention those benefits in passing.
Right.
It digs into the science behind it. For instance, did you know that regular exercise can actually help improve bone density as we age?
Really?
The blog cites studies showing that women over 50 who engaged in strength training just twice a week
Wow.
saw significant improvements in their bone health,
That's impressive.
which can make a huge difference in preventing fractures and maintaining independence later in life.
Wow. That's really impressive.
Yeah.
It makes you realize that staying active isn't just about feeling good in the moment. It's an investment in our long-term well-being.
Absolutely.
It's about setting ourselves up to thrive in all stages of life.
Exactly. And that brings us to another point the blog really emphasizes, strength training. I think a lot of people, myself included, used to kind of shy away from it,
Right.
thinking it was all about bulking up. But this post completely changed my perspective.
Yeah?
It highlights how strength training is vital for maintaining bone health, boosting metabolism, and even improving balance and coordination,
Yeah.
which is so important for preventing falls as we get older.
I remember reading that part and having a bit of an aha moment.
Yeah,
It made me realize that strength training isn't just for bodybuilders.
right.
It's something that can benefit everyone, regardless of age or fitness level.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to be intimidating.
Yeah.
The post mentions that even simple exercises with light weights or resistance bands can make a big difference.
That's such a key takeaway. You don't need fancy equipment or a gym membership to get started.
Yeah.
You can incorporate strength training into your routine in small, manageable ways.
Right.
I've started doing some simple arm exercises with soup cans while I wait for my tea to brew in the morning. It's amazing how those little bits of effort can add up over time.
That's a great tip. And it speaks to the blog's encouragement to find movement in everyday life. It doesn't always have to be a structured workout.
Right?
It's about making conscious choices to move our bodies throughout the day.
Yes. And that can be as simple as taking the stairs instead of the elevator, walking to a colleague's desk instead of sending an email, or even just getting up and stretching every hour while we're working. It's about finding those little opportunities to move and appreciate what our bodies can do.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's about making those small changes that over time can have a huge impact on our overall well-being.
Yeah.
And speaking of feeling good, the blog post also touches on the importance of flexibility and agility.
Absolutely. Maintaining flexibility is crucial for preventing injuries, improving posture, and simply feeling more comfortable in our bodies as we age. The post suggests exploring activities that focus on stretching and range of motion, and it really got me thinking about how much I miss dancing.
Oh, me too. I used to love to dance, but I haven't done it in years. Maybe it's time to dust off those dancing shoes.
There's something about moving to music that just feels so liberating and joyful. And I think that's what the blog post is ultimately all about, isn't it? Finding activities that bring us joy and that make us feel alive in our bodies.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
It's about celebrating our strength and vitality, no matter our age or fitness level.
It's about finding ways to move that feel good, sustainable, and inspiring. And you know, one thing that really struck me was the blog post's powerful message about listening to our bodies.
That's such a crucial point.
Yeah.
It's about honoring our limits,
Yeah.
recognizing when we need to rest,
Right.
and not pushing ourselves to the point of pain or injury. As we get older, it's even more important to be in tune with our body's signals
Yeah.
and to adjust our activities accordingly.
Absolutely. And sometimes that means modifying exercises,
Right.
taking breaks when we need them,
Yeah.
or even just choosing gentler activities on certain days. It's not about striving for perfection.
It's about being kind to ourselves and honoring what our bodies need in each moment.
It's about approaching fitness with a sense of self-compassion and understanding.
So true. It's about finding that balance between challenge and support. And it's about recognizing that fitness isn't a punishment. It's a celebration of what our bodies can do.
Beautifully said.
And that brings us back to that line from the blog post that really resonated with both of us. We're absolutely worth every effort to stay active and keep shining with vitality.
Right.
That line really struck a chord with me too.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that investing in our well-being is an act of self-respect and empowerment.
Absolutely.
It's about showing up for ourselves and giving our bodies the care and attention they deserve.
It's about recognizing that we are worthy of feeling our best, both physically and mentally.
Exactly. And that feeling of vitality, that spark of aliveness, is something we can cultivate at any age.
Yeah. It's not just about the physical benefits either. The blog post also touches on the mental and emotional aspects of staying active. And I think that's something that's often overlooked.
I completely agree. It's about how movement makes us feel more energized, more confident, and more capable of handling whatever life throws our way.
Exactly. When we move our bodies and feel strong, it can have a ripple effect on our overall well-being. We feel more grounded,
Right.
more centered, and more resilient. And that inner strength can translate to how we approach challenges in other areas of our lives.
I've definitely noticed that in my own life. When I make time for movement, even if it's just a short walk or some stretching, I feel more equipped to deal with stress and make clear decisions.
Yeah.
It's like clearing out the mental cobwebs and creating space for more positivity and focus.
I have the same experience, and the blog post actually delves into the science behind this,
Okay.
explaining how exercise releases endorphins, which have mood-boosting effects.
Wow.
So it's not just anecdotal. There's a physiological basis for why movement can make us feel more positive and upbeat.
That's so fascinating. It's like our bodies are designed to thrive on movement.
Yeah.
And it makes me think about how, as we get older, we might need to be more intentional about incorporating movement into our lives, especially if our jobs or lifestyles become more sedentary.
That's a great point. And it brings us back to the idea of finding movement in everyday life.
Yeah.
It's about those small, consistent choices that can make a big difference over time, like
Right.
parking farther away from the store entrance or taking a few extra laps around the house while we're on the phone. It doesn't have to be a big production.
Yeah.
It's about those little moments of movement that can add up to a more vibrant and energetic life.
And I think it's also about shifting our perspective on what counts as exercise.
Right.
It's not just about hitting the gym or running a marathon.
Yeah.
It can be gardening, playing with our grandkids, or even just dancing around the kitchen while we cook dinner.
Exactly. It's about finding activities that we enjoy and that fit into our lives so that movement becomes a source of pleasure rather than a chore. And speaking of finding what feels good, I wanted to circle back to something we touched on earlier.
Okay.
The importance of listening to our bodies. As we age, it becomes even more crucial to pay attention to our body's signals and to respect our limits.
That's such an important reminder, especially in a culture that often pushes us to push ourselves harder and to ignore our body's cues.
Yes, and the blog post addresses this beautifully. It encourages us to be mindful of how our bodies feel during and after exercise.
Right.
To recognize when we need to rest or modify an activity and to avoid pushing through pain. It's about finding that sweet spot where we challenge ourselves but also honor our body's wisdom.
And sometimes that means choosing gentler activities like walking or swimming instead of high-impact exercises that might put too much stress on our joints.
Right.
Or it might mean taking a break from our usual routine and just focusing on stretching or relaxation techniques.
Absolutely. It's about giving ourselves permission to adapt and to honor our body's changing needs.
And, I think this ties into the mental and emotional benefits we were talking about earlier. Yeah. When we approach fitness with a sense of kindness and compassion, it becomes less about striving for some external ideal and more about nurturing our overall well-being. It's about respecting ourselves and treating our bodies with care.
I love that. It's about cultivating a sense of gratitude for what our bodies can do rather than focusing on what they can't.
And it's about recognizing that our bodies are always changing, and that's okay.
Okay.
What we're capable of today might be different from what we were capable of yesterday or what we'll be capable of tomorrow.
Right.
And that's part of the journey.
So beautifully said. It's about embracing all stages of life and finding ways to move and celebrate our bodies no matter where we are on that journey.
And I think that's one of the most inspiring takeaways from this whole conversation.
Yeah.
It's not about striving for perfection or comparing ourselves to others.
Right.
It's about finding what feels good, honoring our body's wisdom, and celebrating the unique journey that we're each on.
And remembering that we're all in this together. We're all navigating the joys and challenges of aging,
Right.
and we can support each other along the way.
I love that. And you know, one thing that's always helped me stay motivated is finding a community of like-minded people who share a passion for movement and well-being.
Me too. It's so inspiring to connect with others who are on a similar path, who understand the ups and downs of staying active as we age,
Right.
and who can offer encouragement and support.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that. It actually reminds me of something the blog post mentioned about the importance of finding movement buddies or joining a fitness group.
That's such a great idea. Having that sense of community and accountability can make a huge difference in staying motivated and reaching our goals.
Yeah,
And it can also be a lot of fun.
absolutely. It's about finding that sense of connection and shared purpose, which can make the journey so much more enjoyable. And, you know, speaking of community, we have something really special to share with our listeners. We've actually created a wonderful community right here at Renew You Life. We have a thriving online community where people can connect and share their experiences and support each other on their journeys.
Yeah, it's a place where people can find inspiration, motivation, and practical tips for embracing a healthy and active lifestyle at any age.
It's been so inspiring to see people connect and encourage each other, and we'd love for you to join us. We'll be sure to include links to our social media pages and online community in the description box below.
We believe that wellness is a journey best shared, and we can't wait to welcome you into our amazing community.
And, you know, speaking of sharing this journey, that brings us back to the heart of what we've been discussing today, the importance of staying active and feeling our best as we mature. And one of the key takeaways from the blog post and from our conversation is that it's never too late to start.
That's such an important message. No matter what your age or fitness level, there are always ways to incorporate movement and joy into your life. It's about finding what works for you, honoring your body's unique needs, and celebrating the progress you make along the way.
And it's about remembering that fitness isn't a punishment. It's a gift. It's a way to honor our bodies, to cultivate vitality, and to experience the joy of movement. And, you know, as we were reflecting on everything we've discussed today, we kept coming back to one powerful question that we wanted to share with you.
What if instead of focusing on how we look, we focused on how we feel? What if instead of striving for some external ideal, we celebrated the incredible things our bodies can do?
What if we approached fitness with a sense of gratitude, curiosity, and playfulness? What if we gave ourselves permission to move in ways that feel good, that bring us joy, and that nourish our bodies and souls?
We believe that by embracing this perspective, we can unlock a whole new level of well-being and vitality, and we can inspire others to do the same.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we invite you to reflect on that question. How do you want to feel in your body? What kind of movement brings you joy? What small steps can you take today to honor your body and to celebrate its incredible strength and resilience?
We encourage you to share your thoughts and insights with us in the comments below. We're excited to continue this conversation with you and to support you on your journey to a healthier, happier, and more vibrant life.
And before we sign off, we want to remind you to check out the description box for links to the Renew You Life blog post that inspired this conversation, as well as some other resources that you might find helpful. We also encourage you to share this episode with anyone who might benefit from it. Let's spread the message that it's never too late to embrace a more active and joyful life.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We're so grateful to have you as part of the Renew You Life community.
Until next time, stay active, stay vibrant, and keep shining.